So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Avril Surridge, who is here to give us a presentation regarding the patient public voice. Avril is a retired primary school teacher. Here in the southeast region, we've had 2 roadshows, which has tried to focus on what personalisation might mean for the future.
You know, living with a long-term condition is really something of a marathon. Except it's a lot longer than 26 miles, and there's no finishing line.
It was really dynamic by being able to understand, particularly from a patient's perspective, what care meant and how care could be tailored to their needs.
I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in 1976. It suddenly hit me that I either had to accept what they were telling me or do the other thing, which was to die. I was 37 and I was working and I was feeling ghastly and losing a lot of weight. Some nurse said to me, "You had a baby recently?" So I said, "Yes, I've got one that's about 14 months old." "Oh," she said, that's the cause then. Never surrender the right to think for yourself. There was very little knowledge, very little equipment, almost no support in those days. Nothing. Supported self-management improves outcomes. Personalised care is not NHS jargon. It's about people and making the care you give them right for that particular person. It means that when I go to a GP or when I go to the specialist, the doctor has to actually listen.
I'm just getting fed up. Because I'm tired, I suppose I'm getting irritable, but it's because I'm knackered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anything run in the family at all?
It's the attitude of giving me information, giving me support, giving me guidance. It's not telling me what to do.
I mean, the ideal consultation between a doctor and his or her patient is what we describe as a meeting of 2 experts. That is, the doctor knows the clinical side and the technological side, but the patient knows how they feel and what might make a difference to them.
Teachers have known for decades that if you involve children in constructing their learning plan, they have the ownership and the responsibility, and they'll take it seriously, and they'll follow the path. Patients are exactly the same. All GPs will tell you that patients come to them and see them, and the most important thing, the thing that's really been worrying them, is the thing that they throw over the shoulder going out of the door at the end and say, "Oh, by the way," and that's usually what's been on their mind, but they haven't known how to get it across. So that needs to be brought out in the consultation, and you can't do that in 7 minutes. It's much more difficult for the patient than it is for the healthcare professional, because we live with it 24/7, 365 days a year. I was one of the first patients ever to sit on an official Department of Health board, and we were talking about electronic records so that patients can actually access their own summary care record, which is held by their GP.
I mean, the information about a patient is primarily the patient's. It's their body and their life. So anything that we have about patients, they should have access to. That's part of the culture shift we want. And if we're saying, "Oh no, you can't see this," how ridiculous is that?
I know of one GP who's given his patients access to their records for 20-odd years. And he said, "Why not?"
There's a power differential sometimes between the hospital and primary care. And they'd say, "No, you can't have this result till the consultant sees the patient again, and the patient's in front of me." And these are the sillinesses that we need to challenge.